August 4th, 2024. It's 10:16 a.m. This is documentation of the prosecution, the criminal prosecution based on the documentation of an American citizen who is remaining under criminal surveillance by the state of California. So this is a public entity that's engaged in what is a matter of public corruption, while criminal surveillance and group stalking, which is demonic activity, is underway by a government that's inherently corrupt, obviously, engaging in criminal activity, and also doing so with its criminal activity that's not just the government doing it. The government is doing it in concert with the very constituents of the state. That's what group stalking is. This system is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring, which is specifically denote the fact that it is pursuant to not only criminal stalking on a group basis. So this is the government, and the people of the state are in the shoes of the government because it's the government's criminal activity, the government's criminal pattern of conduct. And it is also federal stalking, where surveillance is not only physical with regard to physically stalking you, which is not only by person, it is also with an environment. This is light that is stalking. This is noise that is stalking, which is demonic. And they're also engaged in stalking, if you will, federal stalking on the venue of the internet, which is in violation of existing federal law, Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. And so this is, again, identifying the pattern of conduct, capturing what is a scientific impossibility, what is, in other words, absolutely impossible to be the case, as NASA would corroborate, because NASA cannot also, at the same time, NASA cannot reconcile what it is that I've captured as a matter of video documentation for the prosecution of the state of California and for the exposure of Satan, as I'm exposing the demon possessed in the state of California who are engaging in demonic activity, which is criminal in nature. All right. And federal group stalking and monitoring is the criminal system, the purpose of engaging in this, which is satanic. It is that which is intended. You're group stalking as an entity because you are conspiring together to sacrifice, that is murder, and kidnap someone, doing it permanently. And so either ending your life permanently or kidnapping you permanently. The entity that is engaging in demonic conduct, stalking and surveilling you every aspect of your life criminally in the United States. The reason why, and also the relevant aspect, the fact that it's demonic, is based on the ongoing purpose. The objective is to murder this person. They're doing it with regard to their demonic rituals, with regard to their their satanic objectives. And this is with regard to sacrificing people that are not of that condition, sacrificing, for example, Christians, sacrificing people that are not of that same condition. This is the source of, this is the reason why you're being targeted. And so this is demonic at its core. And you can also see the evidence of what is demonic through the very criminal pattern of conduct that I've documented. And you are looking at, as I go from different regions, if I go to cities that I've never even been to, or at least I haven't been to in years, and the pattern of conduct, which is clearly shown through an environment that NASA cannot reconcile. And what do I mean by that? When I am at the Ovid Family Community Library, when I am at the Ontario Police Department at this time of year, August of 2021, the entity is maintaining a fake sun over the Ontario Police Department, which is on video. And there is no sun. There's only one sun. And that's why I use that language, because the sun, there's only one, and it is exclusive with regard to seeing that object. In the same way that you see it over me at the Metro Nissan building, you do not see the object over the Honda building, which is across the street. The sun is not over everyone everywhere. The fact that you can, from for example, the parking lot of the Montclair Mall, and I'm referencing the documentation captured yesterday, which was August 3rd, 2024, and you could see the light source directly over my head as I am standing in front of Metro Nissan in Montclair, California. It doesn't even look like the sun, first of all. You can scrutinize every aspect of it. First of all, the light source, which is not the sun, this light source is hovering. It's hunkered down way, very, very low, close to the earth. It's right above the building. It's hovering right over the edge of the building. That's not characteristic of the sun, which we've been told is a gaseous ball of fire, and that it's so intense. If it was actually the sun, we would be set on fire. And I have hundreds of videos of the demon-possessed group stalkers that are the state, these terrorist organizations that call themselves law enforcement agencies. This is the system that Satan is engaging in, carrying on in the United States, such that we are appearing on the surface as a free society. And actually, we are under a surveillance state. And it is Satan's operation of a surveillance state it's already in effect. And so that's what this is exposing, the fact that Satan is, first of all, Satan is real. If you have a problem with acknowledging this is a fact, and the P.O.C. is establishing that, and it's also in line with Scripture, the Bible, the Word of God. But this is something that's not requiring some pontification and sitting around and debating about what it is that you believe and what you assent to, because actually it's legally irrelevant. This is serving for a prosecution, and no federal court is going to refuse or unreasonably disregard what is evidence, that is evidence of the demonic, which is not based on what you choose to believe. It's not based on that. And this is, by the way, the P.O.C. is providing evidence that no one can reasonably disregard. You are continuing to your own demise, I will. And that is of your own volition. You have a choice to do so. We make a choice every day about who we're going to serve. I'm prosecuting a whole entity that has made a decision about who they will serve. And because they are serving Satan, they're all losing together. All of them. Okay, and the entity is engaging in what is conduct, that the evidence of that conduct is also the evidence of the reality of Satan, the ways in which you can perceive Satan, who is a spirit, and also the ways in which you can be made aware of those that are of that demonic spirit, that are literally possessed by the spirit of Satan. Demon possession is what I'm referencing, and it is the pattern of conduct. The demon possessed are engaging in an identical behavioral pattern, which is also providing something that is amazing, because you are aware of the personality defect. You're aware of the secrets of those government actors that are demon possessed as well, while I'm documenting the demon possessed who surround me, engaging in identical pattern of conduct. You know the mental illness of the demons who are stalking in helicopters, and it's department wide. You also know the same condition of those that are in positions where this public corruption is occurring on their watch, which you are not reasonably able to contend, that you're ignorant about a pattern of conduct shared by a population, including companies that are affiliated with your office, where you have a responsibility of said departments, and you are at the least derelict, but you're not derelict. This is beyond that. This is demon possession, and this is going up and exposing government leaders whose mind state, whose mental illness, whose secrets, the fact that they serve Satan, is also fully exposed. And by the way, because the government is engaging in what is a demonic system, which is the root cause of this public corruption, criminal conduct, the threat to the lives of American citizens, lawlessness, okay, public safety concern is thereby created. You are making relevant, legally relevant to the public safety, the fact of demon possession, and that is becoming a basis for immediate disqualification, based on not only the derelict, but this is not derelict. Let me be clear. Federal group stalking and monitoring is occurring because people are very diligently engaging in this system. It's not dereliction of duty. This is not occurring where no one knows that the helicopters that are in the possession of the Los Angeles Police Department are flying over my head, flying over Alvarado Gardens, and all around me in my office 25 to 35 times a day. Oh, Dominic Choi is not ignorant about that. You're not. You're not ignorant. And let me be clear, Dominic Choi is very possible flying the helicopters. That's how much involved and knowledgeable the entity is with regard to this criminal system that is unmistakable. And it is not reasonable to contend that you are ignorant about a pattern of conduct that the state and the people of the state are mirroring, are engaging in. That is the removal of a substantial amount of leaders who are corrupt, by virtue of the criminal conduct of those under their leadership. Disqualification based on your knowledge that they're also demon possessed, not just derelict, demon possessed and corrupt. So this is our documentation of that evidence. And I am on the bottom. You will see the video documentation, which I captured today. It's August 4th, 2024 when I'm capturing this video. And again, right now it's 10:25, and I'm going to capture additional video of where I was at yesterday in Sherman Oaks, which I was juxtaposing with my location in where you see up at the top, Best Western, in Costa Mesa. That's Orange County compared to Los Angeles County. And I am right now in Arcadia, down here at the bottom. And I captured this video at 9:43. The entity is sounding sirens. This is referred to as criminal summoning. Everything that is happening in a demonic environment, which is a scientific impossibility, that the sun is rising through my living room window at Alvarado Gardens, over the hillside, where 1826 Lobdell Place would like to contend that they're not a demon, that they're not a third-party group stalker, that they're not facilitating state surveillance, and that they're not engaged in Title 18 federal stalking, which is a basis for them to go to federal prison, a basis for them to, under no circumstances are they avoiding being prosecuted as a terrorist in California and being published for the nation and also for the world to observe regarding the fact that they are a convicted terrorist in the United States, and that criminal record is going to follow them, and there will be reverberating consequences for that. Okay? They would like to contend that that's the sun over them over the hillside, like I documented for months and months and months and months and months. It's already sitting on the record. And then you are witnessing the, as I refer to it, the intellectually impotent who surround in relevant position. Who fill room 232, a demon-possessed group stalker, who is a sex offender that is aware of the fact that my genitalia is exposed, and while I'm relieving myself, that is when the demon engages in amplified audible activity. That demon-possessed group stalker is in a specific environment, speaking to the sexual violence that they are gratified as a demon-possessed. That's a terrorist. The demon-possessed is synonymous with terrorism because the demon-possessed are group stalking and harassing as an entity in the shoes of the government, which in this video at the bottom is sounding sirens while engineer light fills my hotel room, an impossible occurrence, not only on its face because sunlight, the result of what is the sun that you can see outside of my hotel room, which is also impossible because the sun is allegedly, that's what was over my head at Best Western, at least on video, because there's no room for a debate about where I'm at, where this light source is in its zenith over the top of my head in Orange County, which is not going to be seen through the outside of my hotel room over the parking lot, hovering in alignment to meet the parking lot, as though sunlight is going to hit underneath the structure in Arcadia, California, inside of room 130 at the same time at 9:46 a.m. and creating multiple shadows on the inside, heightened, magnified in size, while you're looking at the significant presence of those who are stalking, identifying the conduct, the demons who are engaging in very specific conduct, while the demons are sounding sirens. That's state action and third-party action. And it's also sexual violence while they're engaging in surveillance and federal stalking, waiting until the moment that you're physically indisposed to engage in activity creation, because the demon-possessed are violent sex offenders, which you also see when they are molesting me, which is also terrorism and also harassment as a demon-possessed entity that's engaging in criminal surveillance. The demon-possessed like to also molest my body. They're not only obsessed with stalking me, they're also engaged in what is stalking and molesting. They like to engage in, as I prefer to it, because that's exactly what it is, and that is going to be prosecuted as a sexual violence that it is, based on the predatory mind state. The demons are obsessed and consumed with, they have to touch me. They have to make sure that they surround me with light. They have to touch all over my body. When you are touching on my buttocks, you're touching on my thighs and my breasts, you're touching on my face, you're touching on my person in any way you don't have the consent to as a stalker, with anything, with any part of your body, let alone any extension of your body, let alone while demon-possessed stalkers are doing so through demonic methods such as engineered light, which is, again, not naturally occurring. It's a demonic invention for purposes of malicious stalking and supernatural methods, because the government is practicing demonic activity and wants to falsely depict the targeted individual that fails in their ability to even articulate what's happening and what's happening all around them, wants to falsely depict them as being some sort of paranoid schizophrenic. And so this is why you have what is directed light? Nobody's ever heard of it. That's what the P.O.C. serves for. This is the work of Satan, and it is designed to psychologically torture and kidnap, that is murder an American citizen. And while the demons, including the demons that work for for Best Western, but I'm in Motel 6 in Arcadia, they're going to federal prison, while Engineer Light fills my hotel room, which you see on video, and while the entity is right now filling my hotel room with Engineer Light. And again, what I documented in the video. And so that's speaking to the lawlessness, and the employee of Best Western, the Best Western, I keep saying Best Western, I mean Motel 6 right now. I've already documented Best Western. That's just a sample of what the whole state of California is engaging in. And yes, the employee workspace, I documented that they're all going to federal prison. I'm at another venue, the same pattern of conduct, where you are engaging in criminal surveillance and federal stalking with the government. That's very serious criminal conduct. It's terrorism. And like Osama bin Laden, a terrorist from afar, is prosecuted to the furthest extent, conspiring and actually murdering people. That's what they're doing in the U.S., and that's not a small thing. You're going to federal prison. So I'm at another venue, and the entity is engaging in terrorizing, psychologically torturing, filling my hotel room with engineer light, even while I'm speaking. And the employees at Motel 6 are going to federal prison. Everybody at this venue is going to federal prison. Every single last one. The entity engaged in criminal summoning, That is the basis for a federal prison, and that's the whole hotel, the whole venue. You have a demon that's sitting in their truck, aware of the fact that I document. So it's not a coincidence in the specific environment. Well, you're engaging in high level conduct, and I don't want to mean high level as though highly intelligent. I mean it's high level with regard to the numerosity, with regard to the demonic level of conduct. It's not highly intelligent. It's not sophisticated. Any sex offender, any release from the county jail can come and participate in group stalking me, which is also why I'm going to prosecute the people of the state and the state of California. That's also why. So let me get this demon that's in the vehicle, because they're going to federal prison. Hold on. Yeah, license 6UZK530. And let me show you what they look like while they're group stalking. This is the P.O.C. Engineer light on the side of the car. Engaged in criminal summoning, and they're going to federal prison. And let me show you the fake sun that's over me here. You can see it through their windshield. And it's also not at Best Western. Okay, they're going to federal prison. Sex offenders. Okay, but the whole property is. And this is also how you know that they're group stalking. Here's engineer light, multiple shadows, impossible light activity. They're sitting in their car engaging in surveillance while the entity is filling the inside of my hotel room on this wall, which you can see up here as I open the door. Impossible light activity has nothing to do with the sun. You see the structure? There's engineer light on the structure itself. No sunlight is coming underneath structures, coming into the doorway, onto the ceiling. This is heavily documented P.O.C., okay? They're very highly unintelligent around here. You're talking about what is just plain desperation. So the entity has a line of engineered light that's also moving while demons are stalking in the parking lot. So they start their vehicle, which is audible activity. They're monitoring. I just so happen to open my door, so they move quickly than they would if I hadn't opened my door. The demons are stalking, engaging ongoing criminal invasion of privacy by an entity. It's corporate invasion of privacy by entity, while the entity is engaged in group stalking, and they're all engaged in federal stalking, and they're going to federal prison. Just want to document that. But I want to be clear, the entity is doing so on an ongoing basis. Just want to make sure I still have the video captured. And so you see the fake sun, it's 10:32 right now. This is relevant for two things that I'm going to capture at the same venue, Best Western, which you see here. I captured video at Best Western at 10:33 in the morning. I captured video at 10:33 at Sherman Oaks as well. And yesterday at Courtyard by Marriott. You saw the fake sun right now, and it is not going anywhere. It's right over my head where you see the demon possessed. That's the ability to recognize both the criminal conduct and the condition of those who are group stalking. Let me be clear. Group stalking is a matter of what are monitoring spirits. Only the demon possessed. It's very exclusive. It is as exclusive as the sun. There's only one. There's only one condition that's engaged in group stalking, and it is the demon possessed. So the state of California, you have a massive amount of people, and that is speaking to, there's no exception, they're all group stalking. The entire population is engaged in group stalking is what I'm showing. But it's speaking to the times that we're in, and you have heavy duty group stalking in the state of California, which is speaking to the times. Not only are the government leaders demon possessed, they serve Satan. This is speaking to the condition of our government. What is the corruption of the inherent corruption of the justice system, the civil justice system. And the entity is engaging in criminal conduct, and it is statewide. Okay, and I show that as I go from Orange County to Los Angeles County to San Bernardino County, by the way. And this is already documented on the record. The P.O.C. is filled with evidence of of this criminal system that I remain subject to, as I documented it for the world to witness, for my ability to prosecute from 2018 to 2022. As a matter of video and podcast and images. Picking up the documentation because I was kidnapped in 2022, which is the objective of the entity, and I was documenting the entity that was kidnapping me the whole time, and everybody engaged in that kidnapping is going to federal prison. Everybody engaged in that kidnapping was engaged in this same exact criminal system, and this is how the demon possessed are working against each other. There's no longer a teamwork that's helping them accomplish murdering, but because they're still engaging in it. But this is also revealing the mental illness of the demon possessed. You're not even achieving your objective. The only one who's being tormented is while a demon-possessed sex offender is gratified and creating amplified audible activity, they're going to federal prison. So what is it that you're winning? You're talking about a demon, the destructive mindset, the despicable and disgusting internal secrets that they have, while I'm fully exposing them. And you're talking about what is not a genuine, there's nothing victorious. This is the same thing that you see when the demons get on video and they anticipate. Let me be clear. They know exactly what I state when I call these demons that are not legitimate law enforcement agencies cowards. So you'll have another one and this is some sort of show of not being a coward because you're showing the world that you're stalking an American citizen. This is the inability to actually rationalize. This is how far the mental illness has gone. This is the public safety concern, because there is no show of bravado. There's nothing brave. There is nothing that you are established. There's no valid point in going through and stalking on video because the target individual spoke the truth. You are a coward stalking a woman. You are a coward serving Satan. You're not even a real men and women. You're certainly not legitimate law enforcement agencies violating the law, engaging in criminal activity, and then wanting to maintain the posture as though you are anything but that you are of any place of authority, that you are of any legitimate position whatsoever, that you are in any position to where you should be honored and respected, because you're not. You're everything but that, and that's why you don't get that. You hear the truth spoken about you on this podcast, and you will see and hear the truth spoken about you in all the video and images, because that's the truth of what you're Satan-serving demons. And you will go and you're going to burn in hell if you do not repent. But on this side of eternity, you are going to be prosecuted, and you're going to be exposed by name. Engineer light moving across my ceiling while the demon possessed listen to me speak the truth about their condition and about their future. This entire property of Motel 6, okay, this gutter 2-star motel with roaches, they're all going to federal prison. And I'm going to civilly and criminally prosecute Motel 6, the employees of Motel 6. She's overweight. She's got tattoos on her gut that she was showing as I captured her group stalking on camera yesterday evening after an entity flew over my head by airplane, and I walked into the office and a demon surrounds me while walking behind me. They're all going to federal prison. Every single last one of them are going to federal prison. So the entity's keeping a fake sun here, and that is prefacing what it is that I documented. And the demonic activity occurs with simultaneity to what I do as I do it. That's the sex offender. They're obsessed with my genitalia. They're obsessed with my aura because I have the Holy Spirit, and they want to sacrifice my physical person. Understand Satan in that objective. Understand that. They are obsessed sexually, okay? They're obsessed physically. They want to be where I'm at. Even when I was sleeping outside on the sidewalk, which served God's purposes. It wasn't because I cannot take care of myself. It's not because I'm incompetent as an attorney. It's because the entity, the people of the state were my employer, who were harassing me, who were unlawfully and inappropriately dismissing me as I reported it to HR, who are the people of the state. Heather Till, Speaker Companies, fully demonstrated that, reminded the entity that's going to take over this case exactly what I was subject to while practicing law. And the demon possessed have taken the oath and are practicing law, the California bar, because I was surrounded by them. The demon possessed were engaging in this pattern of conduct before helicopters and all of that got into the mix. And because I was aware of it, the more I document, as I'm speaking to now, the more truth that I speak regarding Satan, regarding the reality of Satan, regarding who Satan is using, regarding all of Satan's secrets, regarding Satan's servants, such as the government leaders, the demon possessed react. And it is reaction through the engineer light, through the amplified audible activity, through the demonic pacing, because that's what they're doing right now. If I open my door, the demons are pacing. It's traffic. It's a demon walking to the ice machine. No, that demon is pacing. That's a highly passive-aggressive, demon-possessed group stalker. That level of passive-aggressive conduct, that's a psychopath. That's a threat to the public. That's the type of person that conceals weapons and goes in and shoots people in a building for no reason. That's the mind state behind the demon-possessed who are group stalking. That's a threat. And because they have not done that, and let me be clear, that's been reported many times on the news. They're not talking about the condition of those that are doing that. But I want to be clear, because the demon possessed as an entity has not gotten to as an entity, there are many people that are engaging in conduct, and you're making exceptions in your mind. Oh, this person did it because of this. They have that motive. This is what happened in their background. This is what happened before they engaged in that crime. This is what they were going through emotionally. Let me tell you something. People are going through everyday life every day, like I am, okay? I will never go around targeting someone. I will never serve Satan. I would never go around shooting anyone, murdering anyone. That's never going to happen, and I can say that. As a fact, that will never happen, okay? It is not an excuse. This is a condition based on who you serve that literally foretells the things that you will do and the threat that you pose based on, and the P.O.C. is simultaneously serving the public good, because I'm letting you know about what's wrong with these criminals who are group stalking and the mind state that they do not want you to know about. That is the mind state of a predator that rapes babies, rapes little children, and targets the children, tries to silently threaten them, but nobody else knows that child is subject to that level of a threat. They're isolating them, trying to control their mind and keep them silent while outwardly conducting themselves. It's their uncle or something, outwardly conducting themselves as they love that little child. And they're just, patting them on the head, and they're just smiling in their face, when they're actually, if you're aware of how sexual violence works, how pedophiles work, they maintain a mindset to control that child and also to threaten them in the presence of others, actually. But it's communicating a threat to that child, which they comprehend, they recognize. And it also works to keep them silent, and they suffer in silence. It torments them. That is the mindset of the third party and the state acting group stalker, the demon possessed, when they're group stalking. The outward malicious engagement of what's supposed to appear as everyday society, and it's not. It's the mind state of those who conceal weapons, and they go in and they shoot up buildings. They kill people, mass amounts of people, in the name of Allah. Okay, and this is what we were told, by the way, by our government that's monitoring us. Nonetheless, that is an iteration of the P.O.C. That's the work of Satan. In the name of Allah, in the name of religion, you're crashing planes into buildings and murdering people. That's the demon possessed. The true and living God is not calling anyone to murder other people. No, mass murders in order to sacrifice to. No. That's the work of Satan. Okay, so the entity is engaging in a very specific pattern of conduct. And you are learning a lot about the mind state while the entity maliciously engages in terrorism in the United States. And it is a public safety concern. Demons are calling themselves law enforcement officers. They're getting specials on ABC News. ABC is a group stalker. The fake sun is over me while I'm driving by their building on the, I want to say the 134 freeway off of Forest Lawn, whichever freeway that is. They're group stalking. The fake sun remained over me, and I'm driving right by ABC. ABC is the people of the state. If I walk right into that building, guess who's going to be engaging in the demonic behavior pattern? The demon possessed who are reporting the news to you. Satan is reporting the news to you. Okay? So I'm stating all that, prefacing all of that with the maintenance of the light source, which you just saw at 10:32, while the demon possessed are engaging in surveillance. There's sex offenders that are obsessed with my genitalia. They're obsessed with everything. They're obsessed with my new body, which is why they've engaged in kind of placing cameras so that they can watch me remove my clothes, which is spiritually significant as well. The demon possessed thinking that they can suck your energy out. It's entirely demonic. It's entirely demonic. And I want to be clear, the one whom the Lord has designed, has armed to combat what Satan is doing, all of their witchcraft, all of their demonic tactics do not work. You're essentially a terminator in the spirit, and it will not work. And I'm here to let you know about what Satan is doing in the state of California. All their witchcraft and their acts to sacrifice, they will not succeed. They did not succeed, and they will not succeed. I am going to remain, and I'm going to tell you about every single last demon, even down to their name and the position that they hold and how they need to be removed immediately. And it's based on the criminal conduct that's established beyond a reasonable doubt. This is not just me having a podcast just talking about, oh, the Lord showed me this and I have no evidence about it. That's not what this is. The entity is engaging in criminal conduct, and it's demonic in its nature, and it's the whole population. That is implications for the rest of the country, by the way, the entire state. And guess what? I don't have to go up to, for example, even though I've been up to Oakland and the entity was group stalking, including my own flesh and blood. But again, your family is not your flesh and blood, in case you did not know. And I'm specifically those who have an ear to hear. Your family is not based on those that are blood related to you. Your family are the ones, like Jesus said, the one who does the will of my Father. That's my mother and brother. Okay? That's who my family is. And that's where you have to get up out of this carnal, because that's where Satan wants you to dwell. And that's a trap. Okay? My family would not be sacrificing me with the state of California. That's not my family. All right. So the entity is engaging in a very specific pattern of conduct, and doing so while all of this is known through the mind state, the mens rea, as you would refer to it legally, as you are seeking to understand it, as you're training your eyes to recognize the demonic environment, the crime scene, because the feds can prosecute it. Okay. So the entity is engaging in a pattern of conduct. And while the light source is over me in Costa Mesa, which is what you see at the top, on August 2nd at 9:46 in the morning, the entity is sounding sirens while I'm in Arcadia, California. That's nowhere near the entrance of Best Western. Let's go back again where I'm walking from. I'm walking out.
It is 9:46 a.m. This is the fake sun that's directly over the Best Western. Remember, I captured video at 10:30. This is indeed where the sun rises. The entity engages in the tactic that I captured in LA. As the evidence of the supernatural, the ability to recognize that this is a demonic imitation.
A demonic imitation of the natural environment. This is the ability to recognize Satan. As I've shown you, first of all, if you're out in Louisiana somewhere, we are not looking at the same thing. This is not possibly the sun. First of all, the object itself, it's hunkered down over the building. That's not the sun. It doesn't even, this is just requiring you to pay attention. All I'm doing is causing the world to pay attention because we're not paying attention. That, first of all, that's the first layer of the problem. You're just not paying attention. Okay, that's not the sun that's hunkered down directly above the building. The gaseous ball of fire, we've all been told about it, right? That would set this building on fire if that was the sun. In addition to that, the demons who are stalking and playing in helicopters, they fly right over it, under it, through it. That's not the sun. It's a light source. It's, in other words, indicative of the presence of Satan, where Satan's system is underway, showing who Satan is focused on. That's why the fake sun and the fake moon at night is over me. Where, by the way? That's the crime scene. In addition to the behavior of those in that remarkable environment, that environment that's a scientific impossibility. And it's highly unlikely that the sun is rising and setting at the same place. And at night, that's where the moon is also. That in and of itself should draw your attention. And where you're understanding and recognizing the demonic, which is not outside of the jurisdiction of the federal government to prosecute because it's spiritual in nature, the spirit is being brought into the tangible existence so that you can recognize it. This is not impervious to prosecution. It's not impervious to a federal investigation. Lives are being taken where the demon possessed are engaging in this ritualistic system. So it's very much within the jurisdiction of the federal government. And this is literally a PSA for the world to pay attention to listen. But I'm also speaking to what is very much necessary. It's an urgency. Okay, it's beyond time because people have been losing their lives while the government's murdering them and then calling it a day's work, calling it, for example, a crime, an unsolved crime. An unsolved mystery, suicide, calling it the death penalty. Name it, you name it. This is what the state is doing. Okay, so the entity is engaging in this system and doing so while a very specific behavioral pattern is underway in this specific environment. This is how you're recognizing the specific environment. It's not just the placement of the fake sun. For example, I'm a Christian. I am a born again, Holy Spirit filled and sealed. Satan cannot possess me. Satan can't change my mind. Satan can't distract me. Okay, all Satan can do is literally cause me to go even harder in documentation. What do I mean by that? When I speak in the vernacular, I mean to become even more diligent, perhaps work a little harder than I ordinarily would if they want to go and be extra diligent, if you will, with the amplified audible activity. I might walk out and get everybody in the parking lot. That's how I transmute that energy. Okay, so other than that, Satan is already lost. You're talking about what city I go to, the federal government automatically knows the police departments, the sheriff's departments, every fire department, every hospital where the demons are driving around in ambulance. All of this is spoken to when I'm documenting the P.O.C. The foundation is already laid. There is no anonymity when you hear sirens, like you will in this video below, at the same time when I'm in Costa Mesa, but I'm showing you at the same time below the light sources over me in Arcadia versus Costa Mesa. Go ahead and look at a map because the sun is not maintaining in its zenith in the same manner at Arcadia, literally at all, anywhere in Arcadia. You clearly see it over the building of Best Western. That's where it's at. In the same way that it's not over the Orange County Fair. It's not over that field. It's not over that location. It's over Best Western. This is very clear. This is very clear. This is not rocket science. Okay, it's not over the Over Family Community Library while you see it over me at the Best Western. This is why you capture video, because you will not be debating with a liar, which is what Satan is. A liar is every demon-possessed person. Okay, the entity is engaging in a very specific pattern of conduct, which everyone can see with their eyes, and everything that you hear in that environment is aiding the criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring. All right, and so this is the
criminal summoning. See the impossible light activity?
First of all, the fake sun, well, let's not even refer to it as the fake sun. The sun is over the Best Western at 2642 in Newport Boulevard. So it is impossible light activity on its face because no position of the sun in Orange County at the same time is going to create sunlight inside of my hotel room in Arcadia. Secondly, it's impossible light activity because of the trajectory of the light. You will see the structure outside of the door. The walkway is covered. There is no sunlight that's bending underneath covering of the, bending underneath the structured coverway. Those are placed there because it's designed to be shaded. It's designed to be shaded for the convenience, for your convenience. In the demonic environment, you will find that the engineered light is creeping underneath structures. It's the demonic in front of your face. The demons drive in it, they walk in it, they dance in it, they sing in it, they put their kids in it. They're monitoring you, and they're demons who are monitoring you. That's why they're so comfortable in that directed light. They dwell in it. Okay. And they also molest your body with it. They engage in sexual violence with it. As you walk into it, as it's inside of any venue, as it's ricocheting all around, that shall be the prosecution for an exceedingly violent sex offense. Then let me be clear, every facilitating venue, it's going to be very expensive. This is a matter of, because remember, it's a conspiracy to murder and kidnap you. There is no ratio of damages that has ever been legislated under federal law in order to compensate for the harm, the psychological harm that you're suffered while you are aware of it. And I'm aware of it because I'm documenting it. Let me be clear. The ordinary target individual is aware of it, whether they are consciously aware of it, but they're suffering because they know that they're subject to something that's not their doing. It's not their fault. They shouldn't be enduring it, but they also not sure what it is, but it's very weird, and it's scaring the crap out of them, to be frank. It scares the crap. It's designed to make them question their own sanity. Both the light activity, the audible activity, the behavior of those around them, which is exceedingly violent. The passive aggressive group stalker that keeps their back to you, that looks to the left and right, that's not harmless. That's psychologically torturing. That is very harmful, and it's violent. The entity does that on purpose. And by the way, the federal government knows exactly who you are, Satan, while you do that. That's showing your mental illness. It's not even persuasive. You are surrounded with evidence. And the evidence includes the fact that the passive aggressive stalker is intending to torment the target individual. That's relevant for how long you deserve to sit in a mental facility. You deserve to sit in federal prison. You deserve that criminal record as a terrorist, because this is how Satan is terrorizing American citizens. In other countries, Satan is engaging in causing people to, in the name of Allah, murder other people. That's what Satan is doing in other countries, okay, where they don't have a constitution, whatnot. This in the United States, Satan is working amongst the people of the state, amongst the corrupt government, and murdering and sacrificing people, and doing so under the malicious guise of free society. And it's supposed to appear as the paranoid schizophrenics claim that strangers are stalking them, because that's what the normal person would say. Strangers are stalking them. And that's not inaccurate. That's exactly what's happening. The inability to perhaps intelligently, or more intelligent, because that's not unintelligent for a normal person to say what's happening. Okay, so it takes somebody that's able to more eloquently articulate what Satan is doing, and it shouldn't take that. That's what makes me so angry about it. It shouldn't require that. But I understand this is the work of Satan. So you need a superpower to come in and speak exactly to what Satan is doing, and make sure that they serve all the penalties required for what they're doing to people in secret. That's what's required. That's why this is happening, because a normal person that would say strangers are stalking them, that's exactly what they're doing. And they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it in the manner that they do it on purpose. So I just want to make sure that you recognize that this is impossible light activity on its face and in substance. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is, and you also know, also through the substance of the P.O.C, I've also shown its engineered light, its directed light, because everything about the environment is engineered. What is distinct from the fake sun is the engineered light. The two do not rely on each other. This is how I'm capturing the engineered light on my ceiling in my bedroom, while the fake sun is outside of the living room window. It has nothing to do with the fake sun, even though you are looking at the fake sun literally outside of the door, and you're looking at the light that's covering all the property. It has nothing to do with the light source. This is breaking up the illusion that Satan has created. And I understand that might be a far jump, but understand that there are two different methods: the light source in the sky and the light that's covering all the property. It's not even sunlight. This is the significance, the ease with which a population is group stalking you while they are 2 miles away from me in this hotel. They're group stalking while they just walk outside. It's engineered light. They're all monitoring. It's a massive system that I'm surrounded by. The significance of demons driving a fire truck, driving a police vehicle, driving an ambulance, sounding the sirens, and they're out on Huntington. They're off of Santa Ana, and the sirens are amplified, and they're monitoring me, and they're enabling a population to do so. That's why you go to federal prison, because of the size of the threat, the size of the crime, and the size of suffering by the targeted individual. All right, so this is impossible light activity on its face.
The use of sirens is audible activity, and they're monitoring me. It's also the ability to specify what is going on, and it's not a genuine emergency in the specific environment. This is impossible light activity. And the entity is sounding sirens, which is audible activity. It's the outward demonstration of demon possession by the government actors that drive fire trucks, police vehicles, and ambulances. And they're engaged in federal group stalking monitoring, which is demonic conduct. The demon possessed driving such state vehicles and engineered light. They're monitoring me while I'm inside of my private space. And while I'm in here and the door's closed, ongoing scanning of light. A line of light running across this wall while demons are walking in and out. The employee at Motel 6 is going to federal prison, so is he. He's stalking in the path. The sound...
Engineer light on the side of this car, the white car, that's not sunlight. This is engineer light that covers everything. I'm training your eye to recognize the ways in which you can see it here. You see it here, it's what's covering everything, okay? The entity is keeping, you can see the light source through the windshield of this demon with license plate 7ZA561. They're going to federal prison. And the demon that's in the white truck, and they intentionally got in a vehicle with no license plates, they're going to federal prison. They're going to federal prison. Let me be clear. The people of the state, they're going to produce all the information that the federal government requires. And the state itself, they're going to produce the information as well. They're going to find themselves in federal prison. You want to call yourself protecting somebody else? You will go to federal prison because bodies will be going to federal prison, period. And I guarantee you these demons are going to I'm knocking their heads against each other. These demons are going to turn on each other. There's no honor amongst thieves in this situation. These demons are out for themselves. They serve Satan. There's no loyalty among them. Okay, this whole P.O.C. has crashed and burned. You're going to produce the information, period. And there's no mystery. And the fact that you seek to obstruct justice, that is what the federal judge is going to sentence you even more time. That's all you get. You want to play stupid games. You're going to win stupid prizes like more time in federal prison. That's all you're winning because you already lost. So the entity is engaging in keeping a fake sun over Costa Mesa, Best Western, right over my head. And then what is this through the windshield of a vehicle in Arcadia, California? The rear windshield. The windshield that's facing me, speaking to presence, a specific location, okay? That's impossible light activity inside of the hotel. This is impossible light activity on the side of a vehicle. This is all impossible light activity all over the property. If this is the sun in Costa Mesa, there's no sun that will be hovering. The two are mutually exclusive. This is identifying a demon. This is identifying surveillance. This is identifying federal time, okay? It's criminal summoning. And the demon is even monitoring as I walk toward it. Going in reverse is called light activity. Moving the vehicle is called light activity. And you can see the evidence on the vehicle. This is P.O.C. right here, and it's also the perpetual sex offense. You want to keep American citizens under surveillance and engage in federal stalking while they're in a private space, such as a hotel room, such as the bathroom in any third-party or state facilitating venue. Even while you're being kidnapped, you're going to be prosecuted as a sex offender while you're inside of your home. The entity is engaging in the perpetual sex offense. The entity engages in the amplified audible activity while your panties are down. The entity engages in light activity while your panties are down. The entity is keeping a fake sun over your venue all day long, over you while your panties are down. The entity is molesting you with engineer light, touching your person, an unlawful, unconsented to touch, a demonic orgy. Okay? Sexual violence, molesting the person, violent. No demon has a right to touch you with engineer light. And because it's serving a criminal purpose, because you're obsessively stalking me, yeah, you're a sex offender. Okay? And it's not hidden because you employ demonic methods to do so. It's even more egregious. It's more disgusting. It's more perverted. And then they drive off with their kids in the back seat. They go pick up their latte from third-party facilitating venue Starbucks, the demons that are preparing drinks. And then they go to their yoga class. They stop off at the grocery store where the entities flying over my head in helicopters if I document them. And then they go on to their meeting at the city hall, okay, with the city attorney and the rest of the leaders of the city who are group stalking. That's the P.O.C. in the state of California. The entity is engaging in a very specific environment, and I want you to see the light source because this is the
sirens
POC.
are so that people, all of them in a relevant position, are engaged in P.O.C. stalking, surveillance in the parking lot. 7ZA56L, Arizona is going to federal prison.
And this is captured at 9:43 in the morning. That's the end of the video. The entity is monitoring on my phone, so my videos are stopping. I did not press stop, and I did not run out of space. So this is a continuation of the video.
Alrighty, again, criminal summoning license 7ZA56L. That's criminal summoning, federal prison. And they're group stalking with the entity that's sounding sirens while the fake sun is over me. And
I want to be clear, this demon that's right above me, They're going to federal prison. That's a sex offender, and they're engaging in sexual violence on behalf of everyone. Everybody's going to federal prison here. The entity just engaged in criminal summoning. The entity wants to stalk by helicopter. The entity wants to stalk in traffic with the people of the state. The entity wants to engage in criminal summoning. Everybody goes to federal prison. That's the law, period. That's the law. Everybody is going to federal prison, but I want to be clear. When you go to the private space, this is facilitation. The people put themselves in federal prison when they provide intolerable level of facilitation to the state. You already have no business being a terrorist in the United States. And if you are one and you're not a natural born citizen, you just met the basis for revocation of that citizenship or naturalization. You're out of here. It's un-American. You're out of here. And you are permanently out of here. In addition to that, you, based on the facts and circumstances, you can find many routes to federal prison. They're going to federal prison on the basis of the intolerable facilitation. You check in, and the entity knows that I'm arriving to Motel 6. The demons come, they're filling up all the rooms. I don't care when they got here. The entity knows when the entity has to, oh, no. I've been here for 7 days. I didn't know. That's not what that means. The entity knows where I'm going. The entity is following to wherever it is that I'm going. Okay, I literally get a procession as I go from city to city. Okay, the entity is anticipating where I go. They maintain relevant positioning. Whatever's available to me as a hotel room is a deliberate act for their criminal purposes. Intolerable facilitation, living at the facilitating venue. You want to check into a hotel all night so you can engage in criminal stalking with the government? You want to go to federal prison, period. No negotiation. That's what you want to do. You want to go to federal prison. That's the law. That's exactly what's going to happen to you. So the entity then sounds sirens. You're going to federal prison. You can run off. You can check out. You can run wherever you think you're going. You're not avoiding federal prison. Just like the entity intended for the targeted individual to never escape the pattern of conduct. They didn't even want you to escape with your life. And they didn't want you to escape with your freedom if you happen to live, okay? They don't want you to escape with your right mind, with the freedom that you have in Christ, that it also exists in your spirit and your mind. They want to drug you up with drugs and make you think that you're crazy, okay? Because Satan hates you. Satan hates the fact that you're Holy Spirit filled. Satan hates the fact that you have a destiny, a future with him in eternity. And I mean him as in the Lord Jesus Christ. Satan is going, him and his dark angels are going to federal, or in the natural, they're going to federal prison, but I mean, the demon possessed, if you don't repent, you're going straight to hell. With Satan, that's exactly where he wants you to go. Okay? The entity, and you're the one that is losing. You're losing. You're losing. The whole secrecy is gone. What is it that you're accomplishing at this point? I'm identifying you by departments. I'm naming the heads of your departments, and they're losing those positions. They will be prosecuted as terrorists. You're losing your position as the mayor. This is an unfounded and intolerable level of dereliction of duty. If you want to try to ignore you can ignore it all you want. The world knows that you're demon possessed. The world knows it. So you can ignore that all you want and just claim, well, I didn't know, because you can't refute the you can't even refute the fact that you serve Satan, but you cannot refute the fact that this is occurring on your watch. You're out of your position. You're gone. You're done. Okay. What is it that you're accomplishing at this point? You came for the wrong person, and I am here to identify you by name based on how disgusting you are. What I see you doing, this is what you're doing to people that don't know how to defend themselves. Okay, so this is why you are worthy of everything that's coming for you. And it includes federal prison. It includes a criminal record. It removes permanent removal from politics, permanent removal from law enforcement, the legal profession, the medical profession, all of the above. A criminal record so that everyone knows where you're going as a warning beforehand, like any other terrorist or sex offender would be treated. And that's based on your conspiracy to murder people and to sit around and control the narrative, to take their identity, to take their life, to even try to take their right mind and control the narrative regarding it. Okay? The Lord is not pleased with that. It is currently 11:04 a.m. This is the specific environment. I want you to see the light source. That is not at Best Western in Orange County, contrary to what you see. A video is captured at both at 10:33 in the morning, and I also captured at 10:33 in Sherman Oaks yesterday. The location of this light source that you see over my head in Arcadia, California, right here, is not over Courtyard by Marriott at 10:33 at the same time. As you can see through the windshields of the vehicles that are in the Arcadia parking lot. And it's also not over this same location, because this is exactly where it was at 10:33 as I captured it, I believe, on August 3rd, 2024. Excuse me, August 2nd, because this is, no, I can look too where I got it. This is August 2nd captured. So 10:33, we can get the dates just so I can be precise since I stated the time. But I documented at Best Western on more than one occasion the light source. So you have the light source that is captured. Let me get back to This is folder number, hold on one second, 139. Those are demons that are monitoring, opening, closing their doors based on my activity on my communication device. They're all going to federal prison. That's impunity. And that's the level of devotion to Satan. I want to be clear, that level of devotion, what that really is a mental illness. That's the level of depravity. That's how lost and deceived they are. They're so lost and deceived that they have walked themselves into federal prison, into very serious criminal records with the government that cannot help them. That's what that's about. But that's audible activity creation while they are aware of what I'm doing on my phone, which is, again, manipulating it so demons are pacing in and out of their rooms using the doors as audible activity creation. So I want to see if I can find the video that I captured at 10:33. And I believe, actually, that was a screen recording. I know what that was. That was a screen recording that I captured as opposed to I'm going to capture a screenshot of it because I'm at 49 minutes and I don't want to continue. I'm going to capture a screenshot because what I captured at 10:33 in the morning, which I also have here. Actually, I have it on the record. I should have that one. And if not, I definitely have. Because I like to show the evidence of what it is that I'm speaking about. And I do have it. I may have it in a different folder, however, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time looking for that. Let me get this. Screen recordings captured yesterday morning was a screen recording. Yeah. Here. And it's both of them.
Friday, August 2nd, 2024. It's 11 a.m.
Okay, so this is the entity group stalking. August 2nd, August 3rd, 10:46. Here you go.
Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. And as you can clearly see,
that's at Sherman Oaks. That's where I'm 15433 Ventura. The fake sun is over me, and I'm comparing and contrasting with my location at Best Western. This has both videos in it, as I did a screen recording. This is the fake sun that's over me at the Marriott in Sherman Oaks. And this is where the entity is keeping a fake sun over me here as you can see it, when I am standing in the parking lot in Arcadia, California, where you can see the light source through the windshields of the vehicles. There's no mistaking where the light source is, and that's not the sun. That would be in the same position over me in Sherman Oaks, California, and also while I compared it in Costa Mesa, California, all at the same time. This is the entity keeping the fake sun as I opened it up this morning, and the entity is keeping the fake sun over me. So in this video, remember, I opened my door. The demons are group stalking in the parking lot in the white vehicle. That was at 10:32 in the morning. Same placement of the fake sun here. 10:33 yesterday, I was in Sherman Oaks. And you see it over the demons who are stalking at Motel 6 in Arcadia. This is all captured in this video. And this is the video where I'm comparing my location in Sherman Oaks at 10:33, where this is that 7-Eleven where you see down right there is where the fake sun was setting as I arrived at Sherman Oaks Courtyard by Marriott the evening prior. 6:30 p.m., the fake sun was setting there. But last night, when I'm nowhere near Sherman Oaks, the fake sun is over me while I'm documenting the Arcadia police who are group stalking in Arcadia, California, engaging criminal summoning while the people of the state group stalk together via a traffic stop, light activity, relevant positioning, okay? Showing up because I'm documenting the people of the state while they engage in psychotic light activity conduct. And so I go around and get that third party's license plate. Absolutely. And as soon as I do that, the demon in the police vehicle who was already group stalking me, he just turns on his lights to engage in criminal summoning. He is going to federal prison. The demon who's being pulled over group stalking with him is going to federal prison. This is the same block, the same city. The light source is over me at 7:47 in the morning. You witnessed demonic activity, public corruption. That's the P.O.C. So this is where the entity is keeping the fake sun at Courtyard by Marriott. And this is where I'm comparing it to my location in this video inside of the Best Western. So you can look at
that hotel. They're group stalking.
The people of the state are group stalking via traffic.
They're group stalking at Best Western in Costa Mesa, California. Right outside of the doors.
They're monitoring. Those are demons. This is shaded. There's no light ricocheting off of their cars, beaming light onto the wall inside of the hotel underneath the shaded structure. But you do have the...
First of all, that's engineered light appearing underneath.
I'm giving more analysis. I just want you to see the light source and compare it with Sherman Oaks like I did yesterday. Compare Sherman Oaks, LA County, to Costa Mesa, Orange County. Same time. Same position of an alleged sun. That's not the sun. It's impossible.
Because this is what is...
That's the P.O.C. 10:33 in the morning, okay? That's what you saw in this video as I opened up my front door. The fake sun is in the same position right here over me in the parking lot while the demon-possessed are group stalking in this parking lot. Everything that they're doing is pursuant to their knowledge of what I'm doing inside of my hotel room, where sunlight is not going to appear underneath this covered structure, appear underneath these closed blinds, appear in the depths on the floor. As you see, as I walk toward my hotel room, these are demons who are stalking in the path, and all of the evidence surrounds them. And the demon inside of 232, specifically a sex offender, a demon-possessed one who engages in what is pacing and audible activity creation of a sexually violent nature and purpose on behalf of a whole entity that's a sex offender. That's what the demon-possessed are. And they engage in activity creation. That is, you're monitoring me, and your monitoring is serving a sexual purpose, a sexually perverted, a predatory mindset is required for that. You're going to prosecute the sex offender. That is the state of California. Amplified audible activity while my panties are down, genitalia is exposed, and that's relevant because it's occurring in a specific environment where the sun cannot possibly be present, where sunlight does not engage in this sort of chicanery that I'm documenting. That's all engineer light outside of the building, and this is all engineer light inside. An absolutely impossible and asinine environment where the entity is sounding sirens to monitor. Okay? Doing so, facilitating monitoring. And demons that are getting in vehicles with no license plate, that's a threat to my life. That's a threat to my life. While demons like this, a sex offender monitoring a woman, stalking a woman, surveilling a woman, sexually violating a woman with the demons that provide amplified audible activity while they all know about what I'm doing with my genitalia whenever I'm doing it, whatever is going on. That's the mindset. That's the secret system. That's the sexual violence that you're going to prosecute, that you're going to expose. And it is the exact same mindset of the demon-possessed that call themselves the mayor, the chief of police, the fire chief, okay, a police officer, a firefighter, okay, the mayor, whatever it is their position, they are at the heads. They're not ignorant about the pattern of conduct. No, they're not ignorant. They're fully engaged in it. It's thriving. It's occurring. It's ongoing. I've been subject to it for years. The entity seeking to obstruct justice. You're not obstructing justice, but your ongoing criminal purpose to obstruct justice, you're going to federal prison for that. You're talking about removing all manner of people who are sitting in positions because of the purpose of the system to keep itself concealed and to protect itself from exposure and to obstruct justice. That is the intention, to sacrifice that person rather than cease from engaging in that criminal system. You're all losing those positions. You're a threat to the public. Okay, and there serves a public benefit. The world needs to witness your removal. The world, it's for the good of the public that they witness your removal as a matter of justice. Contradictory to, with regard to what the state of California is doing, it is vital that in order to show that there is justice and that there is a response, a necessary federal response with regard to what the state is doing, and it is not tolerable, it's not acceptable, contrary to what it has been doing. The world needs to witness the removal of these corrupt leaders. The world needs to witness the public corruption being prosecuted and exposed. It's necessary. It's a part of the pattern of conduct being prosecuted and exposed. It's a part of what is cleansing this corrupted population. Okay, so it is currently, again, the pattern of conduct is underway while the demon-possessed engineer light is in motion. I documented this at Economy Inn. They're doing the exact same thing. This is a highly unintelligent, just a demon-possessed and corrupt entity. The engineer light, the shape of the blinds are moving. And also the line of directed light is dynamic across the wall. And you can see the engineer light. This is light that's shooting backwards behind the door. And this is engineer light that's shooting upwards across. The light is also made dynamic. The more that I speak to what they're going to be subject to, the more light activity is occurring. The entity, that's a communication of a threat. And I'm going to prosecute Motel 6. Okay. This clearly very broken down entity, not only broken down literally in the natural, very poor, but you also broken down in the spirit, okay, demon possessed, okay, and the filthiness is not only present in the room, it's the filthiness of spirit, filthiness of conduct, okay, and the entity communicates a threat, the entity engages in light activity, the entity engages in amplified audible activity. All right, it is currently, again, 11:14 a.m. This is P.O.C.